Hello friends, in this video we will talk about adipocyte. Uh, adipocyte. So first we will talk about introduction about adipocyte. Then we will talk about how it store energy, and then what is the mechanism of secrete energy by the adipocyte. So what is adipocyte? Adipocyte is a connective tissue. It is a connective tissue, and it is present all over the body. And some functions of adipocytes are here. Number one, store energy. It store energy. It is very common function. Number second, it provide cushing, like uh, near about the kidney and other organs. And number three, it provide uh, us insulation. And number four, it acts as endocrine glands, so secrete hormones. These are the functions. And the hormones secreted by the adipocyte is leptin, very famous hormone. Leptin secreted by adipocyte and go to the hypothalamus, and with the help of leptin, hypothalamus control our total body mass. So this is the function of the adipocyte. And let's talk about types. Adipocyte is of two types. Number one, unilocular, and number two is multilocular. What is unilocular and what is multilocular? Uh, Unilocular is white, then white in color. And multilocular, it is brown in color. So it is brown in color. Uh, Unilocular is contain this is a very big molecule of fat and small nucleus. But multilocular contain uh, very very much locule of adipocyte and a small nucleus. And it is present all over the life, all over life. And it is present only in the infantile life. And uh, it acts only insulation, and it acts heat release, also heat release. And here is more mitochondria, and here is less mitochondria. These are the difference between unilocular adipocytes and multilocular adipocytes. Uh, Unilocular is present all over the life, and it act as a insulator. But multilocular adipocyte is present only in the infantile life, or uh, animals which go to the hibernation, because it secrete energy, and it is very helpful in uh, animals which go to the hibernation. So we will talk about the white adipocytes, white fat. uh, these are the basic information about adipocyte. Now we will talk about how adipocyte store energy. So let's see here. This is adipocyte, and it is unilocular. This is the adipocyte tissue, and we got adipocyte from the adipocyte or fats from the small intestine. When it absorbed by the small intestine in the form of chylomicron, then it go to the blood circulation, because adipocyte is absorbed, and these are hydrophobic, so it is not soluble in blood circulation because it is hydrophilic, so it bound by a membrane and form a structure called chylomicron, and this chylomicron go to the our blood circulation. It has a triglyceride and glycerol molecule, and one type of lipoprotein, it is called a type of lipoprotein. One type of lipoprotein is also secreted or come from the liver. It also go to the liver, and it is called VLDL. The difference between these two enzymes, it synthesized in the intestine, and VLDL, this is chylomicron, and this is VLDL. This synthesized in small intestine, and it has a protein known as APO48, and it has a protein which is APO100. These two enzymes, these two fat molecule directly not go to the fat cells, because they are unable to enter in fat molecule. So first these cells break down in the capillaries or blood vessels. So there is a enzyme present known as lipoprotein lipase. This lipoprotein lipase break down this molecule into free fatty acid and glycerol, but it activate by the help of apoenzyme C2. Apoenzyme C2, these two molecules got apoenzyme C2 from the, this is high density lipoprotein HDL. HDL gives these two molecules apoenzyme C2 here. This ApoC2 activates lipoprotein lipase, and then this C2 go back to the HDL, high density lipoprotein. The function of C2 is only activate this lipoprotein lipase, and after it go to the HDL. When this lipoprotein lipase, it break down these two molecules into free fatty acid and glycerol. Then this free fatty acid go to the cell and enter in the cell, and here when glucose is absorbed, then it go to the pancreas. Here is pancreas. Then pancreas secrete a very famous hormone, peptide hormone known as insulin. Insulin go to the on the adipocyte cell. There is a receptor. Insulin receptor is present. This insulin go and bind with insulin receptor. When insulin bind with insulin receptors, then there is nucleus. Then this insulin stimulate, and here is a calcium glucose channel present. This insulin open this glucose channel here, and this glucose channel go to the air, and glucose influx occur in the cell. So glucose molecule come, and this glucose molecule convert into the glycogen. Then this glycogen bind with this free fatty acid and form triglyceride molecule. So by this process the glycogen go to the uh, adipocyte and free fatty acid come to the adipocyte and they make and form the triglyceride and store in the adipocytes. And here insulin has one another function. It stimulate go to the nucleus and activate the gene which is responsible for synthesize the LPL. So the gene activate and form mRNA, and it mRNA convert into the peptide chain. This peptide chain is lipoprotein lipase, and then lipoprotein lipase go to the blood vessels. So this is the mechanism how fat molecule go to the adipocyte and accumulate here. What is the mechanism? Mechanism is that first it absorbed by the intestine and packed in a chylomicron. This chylomicron go to the blood circulation and by the help of HDL uh, it go to the LPL and activate LPL, and LPL break down this chylomicron and VLDL. VLDL is synthesized in liver. These two molecule break down in free fatty acid and glycerol molecule. Glycerol molecule used in energy production, and free fatty acid go to the blood circulation. Free fatty acid go to the adipocyte, and when blood glucose level or insulin absorbed by the intestine is high, oh insulin not, glucose absorbed by the intestine is high, then it secrete insulin, and insulin go to the receptor of insulin present on the adipocyte cell and activate this receptor, and this receptor go to the generate signal inside the cell, and these signals work two things. First it open the glucose channel and it activates the nuclear machinery. So nuclear machinery activate and form the lipoprotein lipase enzyme which go to the endothelial cell and helps in the breakdown of the VLDL and chylomicron. This and when LPL go to the endothelial cell, then free fatty acid breakdown and come here, and glucogen convert into glucose convert into glycogen, and glycogen and free fatty acid combine and form triglyceride molecule and it storage here. This is the mechanism of how the storage function occur in the adipocytes. Now we will talk about the function of how uh, it secrete energy secreted by adipocytes. See here, uh, this is adipocyte. Here is nucleus, and here is free fatty acid. This is, oh, here is a triglyceride molecule present in adipocytes. When blood glucose level is low, then what's happen? When blood glucose level is low, then insulin secretion will become low. Insulin level of blood insulin level become low. When blood insulin become level become low, then this receptor not work, and there is two process occur. First it close the channel, close calcium glucose channel, so glucose influx not happen in the adipocyte. And the second mechanism, it also inhibit the uh, nucleus, so lipoprotein lipase will not form. Then lipoprotein lipase will not form, and here it not go, then free fatty acid molecule will not then VLDL and chylomicron will not convert into the free fatty acid. So energy storage function will stop by this process. And how energy will generate? See here, uh, uh, from the adrenal gland, epinephrine and norepinephrine will secrete uh, when blood glucose level become low. So this epinephrine and norepinephrine go to the adipocyte cell. Here is receptor of epinephrine and norepinephrine and bind here. After binding, what's happen in the cell? This receptor is B3 receptor. It generates signal in the cell and activate the G stimulatory protein. G stimulatory protein activate, and G stimulatory protein when activated, then it activate the adenylyl cyclase. Uh, adenylyl cyclase, and then adenylyl cyclase convert adenylyl cyclase convert ATP uh, ATP to cyclic AMP. Then cyclic AMP uh, goes to the enzyme which is non-functional at this time and bind with this enzyme and activate this enzyme. Cyclic AMP go, and this enzyme is protein kinase. And after then protein kinase uh, break down the ATP into ADP. When it break down, then phosphate molecule will release. This phosphate molecule go to an other enzyme, and this enzyme is hormone sensitive lipase. Hormone sensitive lipase. Then when this enzyme become activate by the binding of the phosphate, uh, it break down the tri- uh, triglyceride molecule, and when it acts on triglyceride molecules, then free fatty acid and glycogen molecule will form. Then this free fatty acid go to the liver, and here it convert into two things. First glucose, and second one is ketone bodies. Glucose by process gluconeogenesis, and ketone, and generate energy. And glycerol molecule direct go to the blood circulation and use as fuel. It generate energy. So this is the process how the free fatty acid convert into energy form from the adipocytes. Let's revise the energy release process. Epinephrine and norepinephrine is secreted by the uh, adrenal gland when blood glucose level is low. So it go to the adipocyte cell, and here B3 receptor is present. By this epinephrine bind with B3 receptor and generate or stimulate G stimulatory protein. Then this G stimulatory protein activate the adenylyl cyclase. When adenylyl cyclase activate, then it convert ATP to the cyclic AMP, and this cyclic AMP activate the protein kinase. And this protein kinase then convert ATP into ADP, and when ATP convert into ADP, phosphate will release. Then this phosphate uh, go to the enzyme hormone sensitive lipase, and this hormone sensitive lipase is now activate, and it break down the triglyceride molecule into free fatty acid and glycogen. Then free fatty acid molecule go to the liver, and here gluconeogenesis occur and glucose formation occur, and also here ketone bodies will form, which also generate energy, and glycogen molecule directly go to the blood circulation and create energy in the blood circulation. It's complete all about the adipocytes, storage function and energy secretion function. Thank you.